No engineer, doctor, guardian angel, guard duty, AC follower, or bug. And you're telling me I'm the Gnosia? With just 5 of us and no special roles out there, I'm happy to go along with Setsu here and throw doubt on Jonas. Now, for the sake of it, I will defend Setsu and vote Jonas. Now, playing this live, I don't think I made this connection. However, looking at it now, it feels as if my defense of Setsu was all a setup for the later elimination of Setsu here, and now I can push on Rakio. And it looks like it's going to work here. SQ will vote for Rakio, I will vote for Rakio, and no one will actually vote for me, so I wasn't even suspected. Okay, for this time round, we'll shake things up. We'll add a few roles and a few more people to fill those roles. Now this interaction with Setsu and SQ is kind of funny to me because Setsu's accusation was essentially that they didn't trust anybody and therefore also did not trust SQ, and SQ used regret, which is, I believe, a manipulative tactic. Instead of defending yourself or keeping silent or asking for help directly, regret as a move is a tactic meant to manipulate others into coming to your aid. And it's kind of funny, given how baseless the accusation was. There was absolutely no need to be so manipulative, really. I find that SQ often gets eliminated early on, so why not protect them and see what happens? Now, that was a successful protection. We know this because there is no bug in this loop. We also know then that SQ is either human or the AC follower. We know they're not the engineer because there's already 3 engineer claims, and we can pretty confidently say that they aren't the AC follower after all, because the AC follower is hiding amongst the engineers. Therefore, we know that they are crew. They aren't the guardian angel because that would be us, and they can't be Gnosia because they were attacked and protected. Now, that is one piece of information we get to have all to ourselves because we are the only guardian angel out there. If you've watched any of my strategy videos on Gnosia, of which to date there is only one, then there is a good chance you've heard me talk about information, and that piece of information that SQ is human is solely for us, and the information reported to us by the engineers is now common knowledge. For example, since Kukushka identified Comet as a Gnosia, that means had they been the real engineer, Gina could not be the Gnosia and therefore would be the AC follower. Either way, I was eliminated, so we weren't able to capitalize on the information we gathered. And now this time we're guard duty, and guard duty to me is a double-edged sword because if you don't ever reveal, then it's a pointless role, and once you do reveal, everyone knows what you are, and you no longer have an edge. You wouldn't theoretically have an edge either way, but With the current settings, there is only one non-special crew among us. So that means of the group that has no claims in it, there is a regular human, the guardian angel, and the Gnosia, as well as there being a Gnosia in the engineer group and the doctor group. And amazingly, since there are 4 engineer claims, which is absurd, we can reasonably determine that it is made up of the real engineer, the AC follower, the bug, and one of the 3 Gnosia. And I do think it's reasonable to vote out one of the 4 engineers here, because again, you'd have a 75% chance of getting out an enemy, and the other 2 groups aren't as worry-free, as there are only 2 doctor claims. Therefore, it is a 50% chance there that you vote out the real doctor. And as for the last group, while you have a 1 in 3 chance of voting out a Gnosia, you also have a 1 in 3 chance of voting out the guardian angel. Now it kind of feels like we are slowly hunting the engineers one by one, because we need more information to decide on the other groups. Now it is just a matter of determining which engineer to vote for, lest we risk it with one of the other 2 groups. Now I'm choosing Otome here because I didn't like that they defended Stella. I thought that was strange, and now of course I've flipped and now voted for Shigemichi. Now whether or not that was the correct call, I'm not sure. However, with Chippy now eliminated, we can clearly see that Stella is a Gnosia. And given that Otome defended Stella and I voted Otome, maybe I was onto something. Now, I don't believe there's anything to be determined from these reports alone. It would help tremendously if the engineers investigated Stella rather than whoever else they did, but that did not take place. And now we'll hopefully just vote out Stella. And clearly I'm pushing harder on Otome here, given that yesterday I was already onto them and today is no different. With Otome being who they are, I truly hope that Kukushka is the real engineer. Otherwise, if they are the bug and they don't get voted out, we lose because the universe explodes. Of course, I'm voting Stella here, and Kukushka, who I suspect is not a Gnosia, is voted out, and I was correct because we are now being invited into a lab alone with Stella, and there's no escape. I wonder, logically how this works, because realistically, I've been suspecting Stella, and I know for sure they are the Gnosia by this point anyhow, and yet I still go alone in a room with them, so I have no survival instinct or something. Oh, well, nice. After all that, it turns out Rockio was the real engineer. Who voted for them day 1? I know I didn't. I voted Otome, and I was right. And Kukusho was the AC follower, so didn't need to send them to code sleep anyways.